Welcome back, friends. Here I will explain you about the plasmid curing. What is plasmid curing? The agents involved in plasmid curing, their mode of action and the need of plasmid curing. All these things I will explain you here. But before that, please subscribe my channel. Before understanding the what is plasmid curing, you have to understand about the plasmids. Plasmids are the extra chromosomal DNA sequences or molecules. They are circular DNA molecules that replicate independently. Plasmids are small circular molecules of DNA containing genetic information. The genetic information that carries plasmids and bacterial DNA is different. They contain about 2% of the genetic information of the cell and are separate from the chromosome. So here point is to be noted that they contain different information and they replicate independently. They are essential for bacterium in that they may give it a selective advantages. What kind of selective advantages it can be, I will explain you later. And some plasmid determine the production of proteins that can kill another bacterium. There are different kinds of plasmids. First one is F factor. F factor is also called as fertility factor. The bacterium that is carrying F factor, it carries pili on their surface and they form conjugational tube between two bacterium, and it sends or it provides one copy of plasmid to the another bacterium via conjugational tube. This happens via F factor plasmids. Second one is the resistant plasmid or R factor. It confers the antibiotics resistance on the cells that it contains. R plasmids carry genes encoding resistance to the antibiotics. Many of the bacteria are resistant to antibiotics because of this R plasmid. It is becoming a menace to the world because most of the bacteria are becoming bacterial antibiotic resistance because of this R plasmid. Third one is the virulence plasmid. It encodes for the pathogenicity. That means it encodes for toxins, protein, and the virulence factors that may be pathogenic to the other bacterium. Fourth one is metabolic plasmid, degradative or catabolic plasmid. It carries genes required to break down complex sugar into simple sugar, and this allow a host bacterium to metabolize normally undegradable or difficult compounds into simpler compounds like pesticides and other chemicals. Now the definition of plasmid curing. The loss of plasmid from a cell is called plasmid curing. It can be spontaneous, that means it can be automatically in the nature or be induced by treatments by physical or chemical agents. The chemical agents and physical agents inhibit plasmid replication but not host cell reproduction. There are some examples of plasmid curing agents: acreflavin, acridine orange, ethidium bromide, mitomycin C, rifampicin, sodium dodecyl sulfate, elevated growth temperature, and thiamine starvation. Bacteria grows on optimum temperature. If the temperature is above 5 to 7 degrees Celsius above their optimum growth temperature, so there may be a loss of plasmid, that is called plasmid curing. And thiamine starvation, some bacteria needs thiamine in their culture medium to grow. If thiamine is not provided in the media, so they will thiamine starvation and it can cause curing. Now the mode of action of different curing agents. Most of the curing agents inhibit plasmid replication at various stages. Plasmid replicates via rolling circle cycle method. It involves many stages like replication, partition, and conjugal transfer. If you want to understand about rolling circle cycle method of plasmid replication, you can comment in this comment box. I will make a different tutorial on rolling circle cycle method. Sub-inhibitory concentration of non-mutagenic heterocyclic compounds that are curing agent binds with plasmid DNA. Curing agent efficiency and efficacy are different, and every curing agent works differently. So to get to optimum concentration of curing agent, different concentration of chemicals are used on the bacterium that is isolated from the ecosystem. The antiplasmid effect of heterocyclic compounds acts differentially on the different structural forms of DNA. The extra chromosomal plasmid DNA exists in superhelical state. Heterocyclic compounds binds readily with the superhelical states of plasmid DNA than its linear or open circular form. Now here I want to tell you what is superhelical state. Interwinding of double helical DNA on its own axis is called superhelical DNA. When the ends of DNA are ligated, the strands will intertwine to each other unless the one of a strand is broken. That is called. The inhibition of plasmid replication resulted from a single nick outside the replication origin of the superhelical structure. When there is a nick, it becomes a relaxed state of plasmid DNA. It has been seen by the gel electrophoresis that when promethazine is treated to bacterial cells, superhelical form is missing and open circular and linear forms of plasmid were present. So by treating with promethazine, superhelical form is disturbed, so replication is interfered here. The next mode of action is to inhibit enzyme activity of DNA gyrase. What is DNA gyrase? What is the function of DNA gyrase? We will understand here. Stationary phase cells displayed a distribution of relaxed plasmids and had the ability to recover plasmid supercoiling as soon as nutrients became available. In stationary phase, nutrients get exhausted. So plasmid gets its relaxed form. When the nutrients are available again, plasmid gets its supercoiling stage. It happens because the pre-existing gyrase molecule in the cells introduce supercoiling in the DNA. Now the plasmid curing agents inhibit the blocking of activity of DNA gyrase enzyme. DNA gyrase enzyme is responsible for introduction of superhelical turns into plasmid DNA. So the replication of plasmid DNA is prevented. Now the third method of inhibition is the inhibit conjugal plasmid transfer. As I have already told you, the F plasmid responsible for conjugational tube formation. So plasmid of one bacteria goes, a copy of one plasmid goes to another bacteria. So there are drugs that can affect the binding affinity of replicating plasmid DNA to the membrane proteins. And this complex makes a very stable complex that interfere with the processing of the replication fork. If there will be interference with the processing of replication fork, so the copy of DNA cannot pass through the conjugational tube and it cannot pass to the next bacterium which is attached with the conjugational tube. Now the expression of plasmid encoded gene is inhibited. This method can be used to reduce the spreading of antibiotic resistance in the ecosystem. Now different concentration of curing agents are tested to eliminate a plasmid. After this, serial dilution is prepared and it is plated to obtain single colonies. These single colonies are tested for loss of plasmid encoded traits. These traits can be antibiotic resistance, metal resistance, chemicals that it can degrade, lactose utilization, degradation of hydrocarbons, and many other traits. Physical absence of plasmid loss can be seen using agarose gel electrophoresis. Now the purpose of plasmid curing. Plasmids encode for different traits than chromosomal DNA traits. So by curing methods, it is possible to identify the traits whether it is coded by plasmid or chromosomal DNA. Second one is the plasmid mediated multi-drug resistant. It is widespread between the bacterium that bacteria are becoming resistant towards antibiotics and it is very difficult to treat infectious diseases. So this plasmid curing or elimination of plasmids can serve as a possible way to reduce spreading of antibiotic resistance that is encoded by antibiotic resistance plasmid. Now the question is, which of the following chemical not involved in plasmid curing? SDS, EDTA, ETBR or acridine orange? Please answer this question in comment box, and whatever else topic do you want to understand, you can also comment in the comment box. This is all about the plasmid curing. Do share this knowledge with your friends and subscribe my channel for further well explained topics. Thank you.